This is Dott TV Midday News. I am Priska Abamba. First, the headlines. Delta State government calls for stronger coordination and security efforts across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. Edo State House of Assembly impeaches suspended speaker 8 days after resignation. And on the foreign scene, U.S. plans to revoke the business and tourism visas of up to 200,000 foreigners. Now the details of the news. The Secretary to the Delta State Governor, Kingsley Emo, has called for stronger coordination and security efforts across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. He made the call at a press briefing held at his office in Asaba, speaking on the theme, Strengthening National Resilience Through Integrated Intelligence. The Secretary to the State Government, Dr. Kingsley Emo, stressed the need for an integrated security approach to protect lives, property, and the environment. Cynthia Adanaya completes the report.
Addressing journalists, Dr. Kingsley Emo, Secretary to the State Government Delta State, called for stronger coordination of security efforts across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. He said insecurity requires collective intelligence and information sharing, adding that Delta State must continue to improve its security architecture through effective intelligence gathering and collaboration.
So we told them we're acquiring all of those wishes. And there was a wild celebration. Intelligence, the title of that, the theme of that summit was intelligence, a collective responsibility. We made the market women know. Let me tell you, the people, kidnappers in the bush, bandits in the bush, they don't find their food all in the bush. They send people to go and buy things, buy water, buy food, buy everything. That's a source of intelligence. But because we also have a good template for managing insecurity, if you like, security. It was with us. We do a whole lot. We even take up unmanned forests by communities and convert them to business centers.
The SSG stressed the need to remove barriers such as bias, inferiority, and superiority complex among security agencies, noting that no single agency can tackle insecurity alone. He therefore called for greater interagency cooperation and intelligence sharing towards achieving a common security objective.
We have regional security integrated and well coordinated. We are better off fending off a lot of aggressions within that same region. Need for collaboration at every level by non-state actors and state actors. There shouldn't be biases exhibited. There shouldn't be inferiority or superiority complex. Once you break those barriers, you are beginning to get everybody to work. Our traditional institution is very important to us. The chiefs are also very important to us. We have all manners of groups that we have put out together, anti-cult, vigilante, and all. They're working.
Dr. M, who also emphasized collaboration with community-based security groups, including anti-cultism units, vigilantes, forest guards, the police, military, navy, and air force, noted that personnel with knowledge of the local terrain remain vital to effective intelligence gathering and the fight against criminal activities.
Well, only last week, I applied for 1,000 forest guards, which is the minimum, but the maximum they give right now, except you want to supplement it. And we're very strong on that. But before that, we have 3,500 forest guards. We are relating with them. When we engaged them last time to know their source of income, they talked about their collaboration with the police, with the military. Because they own the bush, they know the terrain. So they know. We talk about food. Well, for me, they know environment. The knowledge of the environment is the biggest aspect.
Introduction of state police and the provision of equipment for security personnel. He cited the provision of 1,000 AK-47 rifles as part of measures to enhance security operations in the state and advocated a stronger regional approach to governance and security. The call for the security measures comes in continued efforts to tackle insecurity across the country, while for Delta State, effective intelligence sharing, multi-agency cooperation, community participation, and knowledge of local terrain are key to protecting lives and property. Reporting from Asaba, Cynthia Adanaya, Dott TV News.
Public analyst and APC chieftain Dr. Oke Idawene has lauded Delta State Governor Sheriff Oberewere for what he described as renewed efforts to drive agricultural development and strengthen the state's economy. Idawene stated this while speaking on the Morning Dew show on Dott TV in Asaba, where he reviewed the outcome of the recently concluded Delta State Economic and Investment Summit and its expected impact on the state's economic development. Our correspondent, Success Benjamin, has the report.
Dawene said the governor's recent visits to agricultural establishments across the state demonstrates the administration's commitment to supporting genuine farmers, improving food security, and creating employment opportunities.
And there are some of the things people from the state are doing on their own without government support. I've come here to see with my eye, so that when I look at your proposal, I'll look at it as this is a farm that I know that they have vision.
Idawene, who cited the governor's visit to Tacho Farms in Okuloho, Okwe local government area, as well as Amity Global Farms and Maro Livestock Farms in Hore 1, Uye local government area, welcomes the arrival of fertilizer from the federal government, describing it as a boost to agricultural production.
Oil, money night and day. Let's diversify. So the diversification is the primary aim of this government. Okay. So the agricultural sector, that's why he took it almost immediately to start inspecting the farms. Okay. You saw him carrying, looking at crates of eggs, doing this and that to ensure that fishery, cassava planting, palm oil, just name it, to ensure that these things is not just mercy, because talk is cheap, action is expensive.
According to him, the state government's effort to improve electricity supply, including the ongoing 33 kilovolt power project serving parts of Isoko and Ukwani, will further enhance economic activities and agricultural production.
He said 45 students from Southern University, National University, they are coming here for IT every year. And you have quotas here. These are the kind of people you invest with. But there's something that interests me more. Doing this farming community, I'm employing the people around. It reduces crime. So it's difficult for anybody in this community now to say you want to go and steal one thing, you want to go and do that, because the farm is there. They're happy when they wake up in the morning, they have a place to go and work.
Idawene noted that improved electricity, road infrastructure, and access to farm communities would help farmers increase production while making it easier to move agricultural products to markets. Success Benjamin reporting for Dott TV News.
The Edo State House of Assembly has formally impeached its suspended Speaker, Blessing Agbebaku, 8 days after he resigned from the position. Agbebaku, who represents Owan West Constituency 1, resigned on August 17, after which Yakini Idiaye was elected Speaker. However, the House said his resignation was not officially presented or documented and converted his suspension to impeachment. The impeachment notice was reportedly signed by 17 lawmakers. The House has directed Agbebaku to return all government property in his possession, warning that security agencies may be involved if he fails to comply. Meanwhile, the Edo State judiciary workers under the Judicial Staff Union of Nigeria, JUSUM, on Monday locked out workers of the State House of Assembly over plans to repeal the financial autonomy laws for the judiciary and the legislature. The judicial workers blocked the assembly gate and displayed placards demanding that the proposed legislation be withdrawn. The protest followed two bills reportedly introduced by the Assembly's Majority Leader, Sunday Ojezale, seeking to repeal the Edo State Judiciary Financial Autonomy Law 2023 and the Edo State House of Assembly Funds Management Law 2023. However, Speaker Idiaye Yakini said the reference to repeal was an error, explaining that the lawmakers intended to amend the laws and establish an agency to promote accountability and proper execution of projects. JUSUM Chairman Orion Charles rejected the explanation, insisting that any amendment could undermine the autonomy secured after years of struggle. He urged the Speaker and lawmakers to abandon both the proposed repeal and amendment, warning that the judiciary workers would continue their action until the financial autonomy of the institutions is protected. Still in the South-South, Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has urged Muslims to reflect on the teachings of Prophet Muhammad as they celebrate Eid al-Maulud. Diri said the occasion should inspire Muslims to promote love, unity, compassion, and peace. In a statement by his chief press secretary, Daniel Alabara, the governor called on Muslims to demonstrate practical love, patriotism, and good neighborliness while being their brother's keeper and promoting peaceful coexistence. Diri congratulated Muslims in Bayelsa State and across Nigeria on the celebration, praying that the occasion would bring greater prosperity and joy to the people and the state. The Minister of Works, David Umahi, says he will visit Benin Asaba Road today, Tuesday, following widespread complaints, protests, and severe gridlock caused by the deteriorating condition of the federal highway. Umahi said he will meet with independent engineers, the concessionaire handling the project, and the Edo State government to find an urgent solution to the situation. The minister blamed the worsening condition on the federal government's attempt to involve the private sector in road development through concession arrangements. He alleged that the concessionaire removed more than 30 kilometers of asphalt from the road without completing the expected rehabilitation, leaving motorists and travelers stranded for days. Umahi said the ministry would engage the concessionaire, independent engineers, lawyers, and the Edo State government to address the crisis. He also disclosed that the Minister of State for Works would inspect the collapsed section of the Ifaki-Ado-Ekiti Road and submit a report to President Bola Tinubu.
Tomorrow, we are off to Benin Asaba. I want Nigerians to be assured that when we get there, we solve that problem. It's not caused by Ministry of Works. It's caused by, our attempt to involve private sector in roads development as is done in other places. But this concessionaire came and removed over 30 kilometers of the asphalt and threw it away and closed the yard and left. And today people are suffering. We are going to be talking to the independent engineer and our lawyer, and of course the concessionaire. So there's going to be a robust engagement, even with the governor of Edo State. Now, my Minister of State is going to go to Ifaki Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti Road. Incidentally, in 2024, the president saw the terrible nature of that project, and he called me and said we should take care of it. We have redesigned it, and when he goes, he's going to bring up the report which we show to Mr. President. We may be having, too many roads in our kitty, but I want to thank the president very, very highly. These are critical projects, and if something had not happened, by now, they would have been saying that there was a country. Because tell me any way in this country, any zone where you had before President Bola Tinubu came on board, 50 kilometers of road that you can ride through without pothole, without boreholes on the road. So I want Nigerians to appreciate what the president is doing. Virtually every state is a construction site. There is no region that we say, oh, we are shortchanged. There is nothing like that. So I commend the president very highly.
The federal government has said investing in women's health is critical to achieving Nigeria's ambition of becoming a $1 trillion economy. The Minister of Women Affairs and Social Development, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, stated this at the Made in Her Health, Her Power Conference Africa 2026 in Abuja, stressing that women's well-being is foundational to sustainable development. The minister, represented by the Director General of the Miriam Babangida National Center for Women's Development, Dr. Adedayo Benjamin Laniyi, called for stronger collaboration among government, the private sector, civil society, and healthcare professionals to improve women's health outcomes. She also urged stakeholders to move beyond discussions and translate commitments into measurable action. Nigeria has been ranked among the world's 60 poorest countries by GDP per capita, its purchasing power parity, according to a 2026 Global Finance ranking. Nigeria placed 56th with a GDP per capita of $9,532.92, down from 44th position in the 2025 ranking. Burundi ranked as the world's poorest country at $994.23, followed by the Central African Republic and South Sudan. 9 of the 10 countries at the bottom of the ranking are African, with Yemen the only non-African country in the bottom 10. Other African countries featured among the 60 poorest include Niger, Sudan, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Kenya, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, and Angola. The ranking highlights persistent economic challenges across much of Africa, while also reflecting differences in living costs and inflation through the use of purchasing power parity figures. Still ahead on Dott TV Media News, police blame suspected hoodlums for Osun shooting. Identified deceased plus China says it will safeguard its own interest after U.S. vows Iran sanctions. Also, Venezuela earthquake death toll rises to over 6,500. And that's on foreign news, all coming up after this timeout. Please stay with us.
In the heart of Asaba, where the street tells the stories every single day.
From the corridors of powers to the decisions shaping governance and politics in Delta and Nigeria.
From traders counting every naira to families battling rising costs and uncertain times.
From football pitches to sporting successes to the major developments making the headlines all over the world.
And from the untold human stories, the struggles, victories, resilience, and hope of the everyday Nigerians.
This is the news beyond the headlines. Dott TV News are your trusted window to stories that truly matter to the people. Here, we don't just report events, we tell the human stories behind them.
Thanks for still being there. Now to the rest of our stories. Police in Osun State have blamed suspected hoodlums for the killing of 2 civilians in Ikire on Monday. The victims were identified as 49-year-old Nureni Shobowale from Odeda, Abeokuta, and 43-year-old Said Akinrele of Ikire. Police said the attackers ambushed a patrol team responding to a distress call over an alleged abduction, injured 2 officers, and snatched an AK-47 rifle. According to the police, the assailants used the stolen rifle to shoot indiscriminately, killing the 2 civilians. A patrol vehicle taken by the attackers was later recovered with multiple bullet holes and a damaged windscreen, while 9 spent ammunition shells were found at the scene. The victims' remains have been deposited at Oluyoro Catholic Mortuary, while the injured officers were referred to the University College Hospital, Ibadan. The police said the newly deployed Commissioner of Police, Ibrahim Zungura, has ordered a comprehensive investigation and the deployment of tactical and intelligence teams to track down the perpetrators. And now to the foreign saying that the United States government is planning to revoke the business and tourism visas of up to 200,000 foreigners who have sought or are seeking asylum in the country. The planned action targets B1 and B2 visa holders who entered the U.S. as short-term visitors between 2016 and 2026 before applying for asylum. According to documents obtained by the Associated Press, the State Department is expected to begin announcing the revocations in the coming weeks in coordination with the Department of Homeland Security. Officials say the revocations would not automatically lead to deportation, but those with pending asylum applications would lose their visitor status while their cases are reviewed. Still on the foreign scene, China has vowed to safeguard its interest after the United States announced plans to impose further sanctions aimed at courting Iran's economic lifelines. Beijing criticized the measures as illegal unilateral sanctions. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jian said on Tuesday that China firmly opposes such sanctions and would take all necessary measures to protect its rights and interests. The move comes as Washington expands penalties against entities linked to Iran, including some in China. The latest development could further strain relations between Washington and Beijing while increasing pressure on Iran and its economic partners. More from the foreign scene, South Korea and the United States have agreed to maintain close coordination on North Korea and other key issues. South Korean Foreign Minister Cho Hyun and U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio discussed the Korean Peninsula during a phone call on Monday amid tensions over military exercises, trade, and the conflict involving Iran. The two diplomats reaffirmed their commitment to peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and maintaining a strong South Korea-U.S. defense posture. Seoul said it hopes President Donald Trump's renewed push for talks with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un could help restart dialogue, while officials stressed that denuclearization remains a shared goal. Cho and Rubio also discussed the Middle East and the Strait of Hormuz, while Seoul expressing its commitment to helping restore free passage. The death toll from the powerful twin earthquakes that struck Venezuela in late June has risen to 6,509. National Assembly President George Rodriguez said emergency teams rescued 6,462 people, while more than 226,000 people received treatment in the hospitals. Authorities have assessed more than 60,000 homes, with about 35,500 still considered habitable. More than 25,000 orders have been classified as restricted or at high risk, while the government has delivered 335 new homes to families displaced by the disaster. Cleanup and reconstruction efforts are continuing across the country, with crews removing hundreds of millions of tons of debris. The magnitude 7.2 and 7.5 earthquakes struck Venezuela on June 24, causing widespread destruction and prompting a national emergency. For sports stories, let's join Anthony Uche for more.
We begin with news that Chelsea commenced the Xabi Alonso era with a thrilling 3-2 victory over Fulham at Craven Cottage, highlighted by goals from their dynamic front line of Joao Pedro, Morgan Rogers, and Cole Palmer. The visitors seized an immediate advantage just 31 seconds into the contest when Palmer assisted Joao Pedro for a delicate chip over Ben Leno, setting a Premier League record for the fastest opening weekend goal. Although Fulham twice equalized through Josh King and debutant Gonzalo Garcia following goalkeeper lapses by Robert Sanchez, Chelsea secured the win courtesy of a close-range finish from record signing Morgan Rogers just before halftime and a precise strike from Palmer early in the second. Moving on, the Adidas follows a turbulent trading history. Nando Valley residents, alongside drug paraphernalia, cannabis products, and Nakan with toxicological findings confirming that the combined effects of heroin and cocaine caused his passing. Clark spent his entire 7-year NBA career with the Grizzlies following his collegiate career at San Jose State and Gonzaga, averaging 10.2 points and 5.5 rebounds across 309 appearances. Plagued by injuries during his final campaign, he appeared in just 2 games after recovering from a knee operation before subsequent calf injury sidelined him for the remainder of the season. Finally, in some transfer news, Manchester City have agreed to sign Palmeiras winger Alan Elias for a fixed fee of £32 million plus $2.2 million in add-ons as a replacement for Savinho. Midfielder Nico Gonzalez is also drawing strong interest from Newcastle United, while City have agreed an £85.6 million deal in principle with Leo for 18-year midfielder Ayub Boadi following the departures of Rodri and Tijani Reinders. Elsewhere in the Premier League, Aston Villa are pursuing Club Brugge defender Joel Ordóñez for a minimum fee of £40 million following his reconciled departure to Arsenal, and Nottingham Forest are in talks with Chelsea regarding a potential move for striker Liam Delap, who is available for £50 million after dropping out of the first team. From the sports desk, Antonucci for Dott TV News.
To end the news, here are the major highlights. Delta State government has called for stronger coordination of security efforts across Nigeria's 6 geopolitical zones. The Secretary to the State Government, Kingsley Emo, made the call at a press briefing held in his office in Asaba. We also told you that Edo Assembly has impeached suspended Speaker Blessing Agbibaku 8 days after resignation. And on the foreign scene, the United States government is planning to revoke the business and tourism visas of up to 200,000 foreigners who have sought or are seeking asylum in the country. The planned action targets B1 and B2 visa holders who enter the U.S. as short-term visitors between 2016 and 2026 before applying for asylum. That's all we have for you on Dott TV Media News for today. Thank you for your time.